Oh, it's 4:30.
I know.
Look, the note's right there. Oh, mine's over here. Mr. G, if you would be so kind.
Ready to begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, all members are present. Public comment. I'm going to go ahead and.
You don't have to read that.
I don't. Okay.
There's nobody here.
All right. I just figured for the viewing public. Reports and updates. Commissioner reports. Ms. Pringle. Should we come back to you?
No, I didn't know if I should correct you or not.
Oh, Prindle.
Prindle.
Pringle.
G, not
Oh,
G.
I thought it was, all these years, I thought your name was Pringle, and I thought it was the coolest name known to mankind.
I
Okay,
don't
you
own
just
stock
been
in
renamed.
Pringle potato chips. I wish I did.
Ms. Pringle, what would you, any comments?
No, not really. I don't have anything. Welcome, though. I'm glad you're
Thank you,
the
ma'am.
chair.
Oh, jeez.
Also, happy birthday, Mr. Will.
Today?
And
Semper Fi.
Semper Fi,
Oh, today's Marine Corps birthday.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
and happy Veterans Day to any and all veterans on Saturday.
Yeah.
And
Mr. G.
did you read
Oh.
my mind? I was gonna ask you about this. And it's here, the reclassification.
Yeah, that's the initial paperwork. It's not on the agenda yet, but yeah, it's just, I keep it in the packets because that will come when I bring everything back, but I'll be talking about that when
Okay,
I get to my report.
Me too. I just want to wish everyone a happy Veterans Day and have everyone have a good 3-day weekend.
There you go. I have nothing except for now, we got Miss Prindle figured out. I've always called you Patty Dooley.
That's
And
fine.
it's Duell,
No,
No.
actually, the W is silent.
so it's Dooley.
You're right.
I figured I'd something else up too.
It's like I challenge you to a duel.
There we go.
okay.
That's how my dad always
So
said.
you are Dooley.
I am duel. Dually tires,
What
I
I
challenge you to a
Oh,
duel,
yeah.
but I answer to do well, do volley, hate you.
I was
or
gonna go
senior
with
chief.
you.
Senior chief works
Right,
great.
I think so too.
Um,
We got the new name.
I'm still new to all of this, so I don't know, do we have 1 or 2 meetings in the month, or one? I thought so. So I'd like to wish everybody good Veterans Day tomorrow, but better yet, a safe and happy Thanksgiving with all your time with your family and friends and everything else.
Yes,
We will move along to CSEA reports.
That's me.
Is it really?
That's me.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so we reiterate what everybody has been saying. Happy Veterans Day. Happy Turkey Day. Safe and happy travels, all of that good stuff. Enjoy some turkey and some time with family and friends. On the CSEA note, we have our second noon supervisor meeting on Monday. It'll be right here in the boardroom to discuss bringing them into the bargaining unit. We had our first at 2:00, so there were some that couldn't make that. So we're doing one in the evening at 5:00 to allow for those to be able to make that. And then we'll move forward if we have 50% applications in hand to join the union. If we do not have 50%, then we will not move forward until we do, if that's the consensus of the new time supervisors. We're not gonna leave it at just the meeting because we know not everybody's gonna make it to these meetings. So we will still reach out to the sites and try to do site visits to make sure we're talking to all noon supervisors. But that's kind of where we're at with that for right now.
How many applications did you get after your
In
first meeting?
hand right
The first
now,
time when you talked about it.
I probably have about, because I received 3 yesterday. Yesterday. In hand, so I probably have roughly about 10, give or take.
And you need to hit the threshold.
I need to
of-
hit the 50% mark, which would be right now roughly around 20-ish, I
Okay.
think. But that's, the threshold would be 50% of, I'm told all noontime supervisors, but if not all of them want to become permanent, I think the threshold is 50% of all of those that want to become permanent. Because there are some that can still just stay on the list as a sub. So if I gotta find out for sure on that information, is it 50% of all noontime soups or only the ones that wanna become permanent? So if we only have 20 that wanna become permanent and the rest just wanna stay as a sub, then I have half of those apps in hand now then. See what I'm saying? So I need to just kind of get some clarification
Where
on
does the
that.
clarification come from? From your side or from?
It'll come from our side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right now at this point, there's no, everything is in the CSEA world. Nothing has reached to the district level or to PC level yet. So the first step is within house and then we move outside of that. We have our November general meeting will be next Thursday due to the Thanksgiving holiday the following Thursday, which is our normal, so we always bump it up a week. So I meet with my e-board right after this, and then we'll have our general meeting next Thursday. Nominations are still open for this month for president, secretary, sergeant at arms, as well as our negotiations team. So still leaving the floor open for those. Right now, there are 2 nominations for secretary, the incumbent and another person. The sergeant at arms and president are the incumbents only right now. Negotiations team, we have 3 nominations. We fill 4 seats. We have 3. I know at the meeting next week, there'll be 2 more. And it'll be all the incumbents and a new person who has been on the negotiations team before. So the vote will be at the December meeting, which will be also the 3rd Thursday. Due to the holidays again, so that meeting's gonna be on, oh, hold on. Don't quote me on that, let me look at my calendar. Can I get any?
21st.
It is the 21st. I just wanna make sure because I have so many dates floating in my head right now, I didn't wanna give the wrong information. So we will have our December meeting on the 21st. We are also planning an appreciation gathering for our membership that will be held at the Barstow Junior High School NPR. And that's basically going to be, that'll be December 16th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. So we're gonna have food, music, raffles. So just kind of an appreciation to our membership. It's been a rough, few years and we haven't had something like this at least in the time that I've been on the board, which has been 6-7 years now. So I think it's a nice thing to do for our members. I think they're really gonna enjoy it and I hope we get a good turnout. So I'm excited for that. We're in the planning stages. So we had lost our first venue. So we were able to plan B and use a location on, within the district. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun and I think our members are gonna enjoy that. And then of course, we'll have our meeting, our last meeting, do all of our do all of our voting. And then we'll be ready to move into the new year. So we've been working with HR regarding vacancies.
It's
We
shorter.
have some,
It's shorter.
yes, it is shorter. Page 2 is not as long. It's not full, so we have been, working with them and having those conversations and trying to help facilitate that along, help move that along. There are some, I don't want to say negative feedback, but in a sense, just people that are kind of questioning the timelines of the processes. So that has kind of come up and we've had that discussion. So Patty and I, we're pretty open with our discussions. There's no really beating around the bush and stuff. We're pretty open with that. So we just have some unhappy members and employees in regards to timelines and communications, things like that. So we've discussed it. So, and I like that I can come and talk to Patty about that stuff at any point in time. I don't think I really have much else. We are working with the district on some new job classifications that'll be coming your guys' way, once we clean those up. and come to agreement with those. I know calendar committee we're trying to get dates together for calendar committee. Reclassification is still on the books for the appeals, and then of course now the deadline is coming up in December 15th for a new
Another
set,
round.
right, and then another round of reclassification applications. So other than that, I think that's everything. If I missed anything, I'll try to hit it next time. So I wish everybody a happy and safe 3-day weekend, as well as the Thanksgiving holiday, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
District updates.
Assistant Superintendent Gutierrez is in Sacramento attending a conference, so he is not here to provide any updates.
You next up?
Next up. So currently, we have 4 interviews in process and 4 recruitments are in the testing stage. There's 1 recruitment open. Next week, we'll be reopening another 3 for continuous. We currently have 351 classified employees, of which 152 are full-time, 8-hour employees, 95 are the benefited part-time, and 104 are the non-benefited part-time, less than 4 hours. November has a lot of things going on. We have, of course, tomorrow, November 10th, the 248th birthday of the United States Marine Corps. November 11th, of course, is Veterans Day, formerly known as Armistice Day, and signaled the end of World War I with the agreement that the hostilities would end on the 11th day of the 11th month at the 11th hour. And of course, Thanksgiving is November 25th. So, and I know our office is closed that week.
23rd.
23rd, sorry.
Yes, the 23rd.
I'm sorry, I moved it forward, not back. I was looking at the calendar from last year. So,
I always thought it fell on the 24th.
did you move?
I just,
Okay.
for some reason, Christmas on 25th.
I
it seems on
attended-
24th.
Let's see, I attended the Workforce Job Fair at the Cora Harper Center on the 26th of October. I had 65 contacts, 63 contacts and 2 certificated contacts. And then I have another job fair on the 29th of November in Hesperia that's also sponsored by San Marino County Workforce. They seem to do a good job of getting the word out and getting people there. And then, as you know, in the back of your binders is a copy of the reclass. That's the agenda item that came. I'm waiting on some information from a couple school districts on other structures and other sample classifications that, before I bring the information to you, but I will have it all packaged and ready to go in December. And like I told Mr. G at the meeting when I first did this, you will get that information a full week in advance so that you have time to look through it all, because it will be quite a bit of information. And I just want to remind, because I know when I was talking with Renee, that when someone requests a reclass, especially someone in a classification where others are in the same classification, I have a due diligence to look at everyone in that classification to make sure that someone else isn't possibly doing something similar where they're slowly migrating out of that class to something else. So.
I had a couple of questions, but that's.
Okay.
If, say you had 5 employees that are classified as X, one asks for the reclass, I mean, all 5 benefit from that one's.
Well, if only one can show the gradual accretion of the increase in a different line of duties.
Oh,
only
so you're
one gets
saying the other
reclassed,
5,
but-
the other 4 might not be doing the same task?
Right, they might not, because
okay.
if they're sitting at different sites,
Okay,
working for different administrators, getting handed different tasks throughout the week, as I say, but you still have to look at everyone in that class and say, okay, what are they doing? What is this individual who's asked for the reclass doing differently than these people? And vice versa, what is it?
how does that bear on, not necessarily for you, but maybe for Ms. Gonzalez, how does that bear on morale if I'm a health clerk and I am doing nurses' jobs, and now I'm reclassed as a nurse, and this is very hypothetical, I understand it doesn't work that way, and then the other health clerks go, hey, wait a minute, I do, or think I do, or do this, does it cause
Well,
kind of inner
can I
fighting,
answer?
so to speak?
Well, first off, I will say this, we were talking, because we try to talk at least every week about different things. When you see, and this is my experience in 3 different school districts in 20 years, when you start seeing an increase in reclassification requests, that's kind of a tell. It's time for a class study.
To look at the
The
whole.
whole class, the whole
Yeah, that makes
classification
sense.
structure. So,
Because didn't we do, I'm going back to
2016.
my, I'm going back to the other. job I
2016
did.
was when the last
Everything was looked at.
contract was signed and they completed in 2018. So you're talking it's been 7
years.
years.
So, 20, yeah, close.
A lot changes in 7 years.
It was also pre-COVID, so we did have that conversation
Yes.
yesterday. And so, it is something that, I'll be bringing to my team to possibly bring to the table regarding requesting another classification study. The contract is kind of vague. So the contract's kind of vague on where it lies for classification study. It says once every decade. So that's pretty vague. I mean, we had one in 2016. Now we're in 2023. So technically there's still 7 more years in this decade. So there's nothing really that says a specific time frame with the exception of within the decade. So,
So you had one in the tens.
right.
We haven't
Now
had
we're
one in the
looking-
20s.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. So there's actually 7 more years in this decade that we could,
So they can stretch
Wait.
it out.
correct.
Is it
So
a negotiable item? It is.
it
isn't
is, yes. So that's why I said after our discussion yesterday, I'm going to take it to my negotiations team to look at if that's something we want to bring to the table because we're trying to get back to the table with the district and it's been both sides that want to get back to the table by February-ish. So once all the once all the nominations and the election has taken place, then we can bring that. We can talk about what we're gonna bring to the table for next year's negotiations. So it is a topic that I'm gonna bring to the team to discuss how we wanna move forward with that. And then,
Because
we'll
it
go
is a
from
long
there.
drawn out process.
Yes,
I
it
remember
is.
sitting through the last one. It's a long drawn out
Yes,
process.
it is.
Yes.
So, and then, I'm sorry, since I'm up, if I could just touch, I knew I forgot something.
No, your
I'm
time's
just-
up.
I just wanted it to, next week's kind of a full week. So we also have a membership blitz happening on Tuesday. Shady, our labor relations rep, and one of our volunteers, one of our members, will be going around to the sites to talk to what's called a potential member, meaning they don't belong to the union. They're part of our bargaining unit, but they don't belong to the union. So at this time, Shady gave me the numbers, we have 40. So of how many employees that?
Hang on, 351 minus 13, 341, 338.
Yeah, I think we're roughly somewhere around 303, 313. It kind of fluctuates. Sometimes we're a little just under 300, but right now, of all of the classified employees that can be members, we only have 40 that are not.
Really?
So that's a very high percentage. Our percentage is really good throughout our area and also throughout our region. So those are good numbers. So I just wanted to give you guys that information. And then on Friday, we have a meeting set with the district to discuss our grievance that's at a level 2 right now. So we want to sit down and meet and discuss the grievance. So we have that going on. So next week's a busy week. So thank you.
Thank you.
Getting back to my
Sorry.
director's report.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, I will be bringing back both those 3 classes with my recommendations to the board, and we will get those packages a week before the meeting, at least, if not before that. If I can get them done the week after Thanksgiving, that's when I'm hoping to get them to you. Because a lot of this is just packaging. And then the last thing was I attended the California Schools Joint Power Authority CSJPA conference this week. They held it as usual at the Disney Grand Californian Hotel. Because we are members of CEBA and CSRM, both of those fall under that. And I'm the management rep on the CEBA board of directors. Every school district that is a member of CEBA has 4 positions on the board of directors. I'm the management rep. Christina is the alternate management rep. We both attended. And then you have two labor reps, and both Peter Perez and Leticia Ortiz, who were the labor reps, they attended as well. And it was Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday down at Disneyland. And I will say, that's a nice hotel.
Mhm.
And it's centrally located for everything. Disneyland, Downtown Disney, and California Adventure
Yeah,
Park. I mean, you can get to all three of those
it's a beautiful hotel.
from the hotel,
Mm.
which is kind of cool. Anyway, that completes my report.
I hate to do this to you, these meetings are going on longer or something. On your first topic, of
Interviews,
interviews and things,
recruitments.
if you were to say in a perfect world, from start to finish, what would Mrs. Dool like to see that timeline?
Well, the timeline that I have always looked at and used when I've been explaining the timeline. So you have a recruitment. Once a recruitment closes, I'm going to back up too. I've always put in place what I call the two-person rule, similar to banking, to eliminate or minimize any alleged
Potential,
potential improprieties with screening. So both of the staff have to screen each application in a recruitment, because I don't want anybody to come back and say, Maria
Yeah, I got it. This one
was
slid
favorited,
in,
Julie
this
was
one
favored,
slid
right.
out. I got it.
So they both have to screen each application in every recruitment. So right now, yeah, each application in every recruitment, you're talking about screening online, the EdJoin application. Looking for, do they meet the minimum quals? It takes 2 yeses to move forward. So if there's or 2 no's to not move forward, to get a no, you don't meet the minimum quals. If there is a 1 and 1, I'm the tiebreaker. Then it comes to me to make the decision. That being said, so a recruitment closes, ideally, it's 2 weeks to test. So you got basically a week to screen and a week to send out notifications and schedule the test. After the test, if ideally everyone shows up, everyone tests, which they don't, you have to spread it out to allow for multiple people to test.
Why?
When you have 60-some people and an SDC only holds so many.
I got you. Okay.
And then you have people that work, that we need the people, I can't turn away people because you can't make a testing time. You have to be flexible in that regard.
Okay.
So we test. I'd like to say another week to get the eligibility list for the test to be scored. And once the eligibility list is created, then another week to set up interviews. But we have to give people at least a week for notification for interviews.
I think I'm running off, so we're at 5.
Ideally be 5 weeks. Ideally.
To get to interviews.
To get to interviews. Once you interview and someone is selected, 2 things happen. One, they're either a current employee, promoting, transferring, moving on. The district can hold someone in their position for 10 days before they can move them to a different location, new site, promotion, whatever. If it's a brand new employee, you're talking probably 30 days for onboarding, 30 days to clear fingerprints, 30 days to get all the trainings done, 30 days to get their physical, on and on and on.
All right, perfect scenario is 7 weeks.
Perfect scenario.
All right, your folks, after hearing this and stuff, what I'm trying to do is figure out, and this has been years, and let me rephrase where the question is going. I started with PC. I spent a majority of my tenure without PC, and now we're back. If I don't want to foresee a problem or anything, but how do we take and get to the 7 weeks or explain the process better to people that don't like the process and trying to get a person sitting beside them so that everybody's happy?
So I'm gonna back up even more, because that's from when I say the recruitment closes. The recruitment has to stay open for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's PC and contract, 3 weeks. So back it up, so that's 10 weeks when we open the recruitment. I can't open a recruitment, and this is just if I need to open a recruitment, if I need an eligibility list, I'll get to if I already have it. But So if I need an eligibility list, I don't have one, someone leaves, I have to wait till they submit their resignation. All the rumors in the world, did you hear so-and-so says they're gonna leave, so-and-so said they're gonna do this.
Yeah, until they walk in.
Until they walk in and submit the resignation, I can't do anything. So you're still 3 weeks, back that up. Now, let's talk about, do we need a new job description? We're getting ready to bring in, hopefully, noon soups into the bargaining unit. That's gonna require a job description, that's gonna require negotiations of the job description, taking it to the board to get the duties approved, bringing it to you to get the minimum quals approved, then opening a recruitment. I mean, it just, and there's all these other factors that come into play. I will be the first person to say 3 to 6 months conception from a brand new job description to getting an eligibility list.
You can't do that in 3 months.
And that's just for one. That's just for one.
I know.
I know that I spoke with Maria yesterday and she was like, I'm doing this one and I gotta call for this one and then this one. And so that it's not, you guys know, you see the vacancy list. It's not just one job. And it's hard to get people, because people focus so much on this one. They're not looking at, did you see the other 4?
Well, and
You know,
I'm gonna
110%
piggyback on that because this is the other thing. So I can have an eligibility list that has 12 people on it, right? 12 people on an eligibility list. Maybe in those 12 people, there might be 8 ranks because maybe we have some tied ranks, okay? So I have to be able to always provide 3 ranks
We
of
talked
those
about this
ready,
yesterday.
willing, and able.
Yeah, to accept the job at the site.
Bingo.
That's
So
what
we
we
start
talked about
calling,
yesterday.
we start calling.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't want 3 hours at Linwood.
yeah.
I don't want 6 hours at Cameron. I don't want.
Next thing you know.
And next thing I know,
exhausted
I don't have a valid list. I have to reopen the recruitment to refresh the list with merged candidates so we can pull some more people and call.
I guess what I just am trying to throw out there is if I hear the CSEA president say that people are frustrated because they can't do that, and I am sitting on a personnel commission that was here, that wasn't here, that was here, I hear and the little squirrel in the back of my head goes, well, okay, if we like this, we better figure out that. And I don't know how to do it, but I talk out loud, and it's something that I would suggest that we as a group work together if we like this system.
I will remind both Commissioner Prindle and Commissioner G, you were not here yet when Nutrition Services was here a year ago. And what their frustration level was at the amount of vacancies that we had. And part of the issue also that comes up with all of this is, yes, we have vacancies, but what else don't we have?
We don't have people.
bodies to fill them.
We don't have
Yeah,
subs.
you don't have the people.
We don't have subs.
You don't
Every
have
recruitment, every testing cycle that we do, every time we test, we ask every single candidate that comes in, are you interested in becoming a sub? Give us your name and your phone number, we can contact you. Every pool of applicants that comes in the test gets asked that.
Okay, great segue into my last question, and again, I apologize, because I'm just trying to figure this out, and it helps with the questions. You had 63 contacts at your job
I
fair.
did.
Do you track how many turn-in applications from those contacts at that specific place?
No, I do not. Do we have
Can you?
Yes. Do I have the manpower to?
No. Okay, I'm just curious, if we have 63 able-bodied people that I'm assuming are either looking to better their life or find a job, how do we retain and grab those 63 people and get 50% buy-in? Because then you can maybe get some subs, then you can maybe get some food workers, and you can get something. Because I hear 63 contacts, I hear, okay, so I got maybe 20 qualified candidates, I got 10 that pass a test or whatever, I now have 10 solid people. And you're going to one next week, well, now I got 20 or something. And I'm trying to picture a picture of how we do, and do we go back and recontact them after the fact?
So, this is the example. This is, when you look at the eligibility list, you
And I
can see
apologize.
the
I
statistics.
apologize.
No, I'm looking at
The
one right
statistics
here.
are, we had a total, for nutrition service worker 1, we're gonna get to that when we get to that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask
We
that
had
question.
65 applicants. Of those 65, 51 met the minimum quals. Of those 51, only 13 passed the test.
We had this conversation, I'm gonna be talking about that shortly. All right, I see an answer, I think, in the back of my head, but I don't know how to get there.
I think as long as we're constantly working together and with the district, I think Assistant Superintendent Gutierrez was here, he'd say the same thing. We are aware that there are issues. Sometimes it's taking them one at a time. Sometimes it's trying to see how are they related and try to fix them there. Sometimes it's their arena working together. Sometimes it's this arena working. Okay, so it just depends. When I hear from Renee, when I hear from her, somebody's not happy, my first response, I would like to know who it is and so I can talk to them, but I also respect the fact that
Yeah.
people don't
Don't
wanna
want
do
to do
that.
that.
And I get that because, but I also know I can't fix something unless I have more specifics. Because someone's unhappy, I get that. You know, it's just the way life
The way
is.
of the world.
But if I know some specifics that I can try to fix, then I'll work on that.
I can tell you from my past experience, what she keyed on and it dinged this conversation in my head. My past life in the district, the frustration from closed session to open session to talking to both sides was lack of employees and how come it takes so long to get from point A to point B. Granted, my experience, your experience is in the private world. We make a decision, we act on it right now. And this is the most frustrating job in the world because you can't do that in government. And I can make a decision and I can act it the next day. There has to be, and this is a preaching thing from the last 12 years, there has to be a way to take good business practices, apply them here to make her life easier, to make your life easier, and to preserve the PC if you want it. That's the end of my sermon.
Thank you.
Well, I know that to get to this point, there was months of work, you know, from your office to get to here. And it's amazing how 34 people applied, 34 met the minimum qualifications, and only 7 passed the test.
Right? I was
So
gonna-
bet you-
only 7 passed the test. The question, what's not on there is how many people failed to show.
to
Yes.
take the test.
Yes.
Because in the 6 months, they're getting other looking for
That was-
McDonald's or whatever.
Ding, ding,
Yeah,
ding,
that's
ding,
it.
ding, give the
We take-
man the prize.
Yeah, that was
6
gonna be my
months,
question.
higher.
How many actually showed up? Only 7 passed. And then of those 7, how many wanted to be a sub?
If you need a
Yeah.
contractor,
Sometimes
On the
we don't
job.
get anybody that wants
it's
to,
a
correct?
Yeah,
you gonna wait 6 months
They
to
want a
talk
job.
to this guy, go to that guy?
Start, and then it just
You
kind
gotta
of
pay your
dies
bills
down,
too.
you know?
You know?
Okay,
It's a
so
lot of-
Okay, sorry,
Moving on.
it was just worth the conversation.
I know. That's okay. You're next.
All right,
I'm done.
you're done? I'm done. Okay. Would anybody like to pull, add, or put anything onto the agenda?
No.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as it was presented.
Motion.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Opposed? Discussion or information, do you have anything to add, Ms. Dool, at this time? I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Motion.
Second,
All right, I'm gonna pull B, C, D, E, and F, only for the fact that I would like to talk about what we've already kind of discussed, but we have to pull them in order to have an open discussion.
Okay.
So I'd like to pull those items, so we'll be approving, number A, with a vote. Everyone in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Opposed? All right, we're gonna go B, C, D, E, and F, all as one item. I will entertain a motion to approve for discussion purposes.
Motion.
Second,
All right. Ms. Prindle brought up a very good point, and so did Ms. Jewell. I always wondered, I've never seen these lists before until I sat here. We don't get this at the other thing.
We don't.
So for the last 3 months, I've looked at these eligibility lists, and Ms. Prindle brought up a very good, or Ms. Jewell started it, Ms. Prindle got on it, is that we get all these things and we get that and then we get 13 candidates. My bigger concern falls from, we have always been, and I preach this, you guys don't know me, but I have preached this, we're the best district in the high desert, and I would argue the Inland Empire and probably Southern California. I don't know much about Northern California, but it's true. This is very alarming when we test candidates and the external candidates do better than our internal candidates. And this is not a fluke on these lists that I was presented. I went back and looked at last month's and the months before. We need to figure out a way, and talking to Ms. Dool, this is kind of preaching to an audience member out there. We need to figure out a way to better qualify our employees to move up or lateral or do something, because we're just gonna get people from the outside coming in, and then we have all these great employees that have been here possibly for years or whatever. They're part of the family, and they're gonna get overlooked. They're gonna get their rear end kind of sore, and somebody else is gonna come in and maybe bring their ways, which is good, but maybe not bring their ways. But we need to better prepare our employees to move up in our organization. And I don't know how to do it. I brought it up to Ms. Dool. But again, I preach my company, and I'm gonna go with another guy that probably preaches his company. I want every single one of my employees to aspire to have my job, and I am give them the tools to get there. Otherwise, what kind of leader am I? We need to figure out a way to take our great employees and make them greater. End of sermon. Man.
So trainings are offered. PD is out there.
I know.
And we preach it at almost every meeting. Maybe it slips through when I miss a meeting, but it's out there and we've told them. We can't send them if they don't sign up. Again, it comes down to, we can't fill spots that bodies don't go to.
Don't you guys put out a newsletter?
We do.
And I've seen stuff on the newsletter.
Yeah. I'll come and
So
see it.
we do communicate that out. The district has professional development there. If you guys find a training you want to go to, submit it. Actually, as a matter of fact, right now, my custodians, one of my lead custodians, the one at the junior high, she wants to do training. And I personally found a training and I showed it to her. She likes it. I said I would bring it to the district. I spoke with Mr. Gutierrez. I just need to send him the information so that he can look into it. Because the staff is asking for it. There's money for it. Let's get it.
That's awesome.
So we do talk to the members about that, but you can't, what's that saying? You can lead a horse to water,
But you
can't make him drink. I mean, that's, all we can do is just keep getting that information out there.
I
you
would
know?
hope, and again, I talked to Ms. Dool about it, I hope it's not apathy, I hope it's not lack of being, insecurity, or whatever. I just wanted to preach this, because to me, like the length of this and that, this is alarming stuff in an organization as good as ours.
And some people just don't test well.
That's
Their
it.
nerves just get them and they
Yeah.
can't, they overthink it, they underthink it, they, whatever the case may be, you know, but.
I think I've said this to you, it's probably been a while, but I will reiterate this. I will gladly come in on a Saturday and just kind of give a how to take a test workshop.
You see that right there is awesome too.
See, and that, yeah,
I'll do
maybe
it.
we need to do that again, you know what I mean? It's not for lack of communication here or getting the information out to the membership. I mean, I keep saying it, my word right now is facilitate. I am a facilitator of all things, of many things, many things. So if I get the information, I'll give it out. Like I said, she came to me, I actually went looking for that information. So I try to do it as best as I can too, you know, and as a board, we try to get that information out to our membership as best we can, but we can't
I
make
just-
them do it, you know?
I want to
but-
show that there should be an interest and we need to figure out a way.
Mhm.
And you tried, it sounds like, I didn't know what you did, Ms. Dool said,
Mhm.
you know, you guys do a bunch of things.
Mhm.
But when I notice something like that,
Yeah,
you know, these are, it's alarming.
I don't disagree.
you know, and if there's a training that comes across, and like I said, I'm gonna help facilitate getting that training to the ones that are interested.
I like the whole test thing, because most of these, I don't necessarily know if they need I don't know
Right.
what entails to these, I haven't looked at every job description, but maybe it's just simply taking a test.
And I
When we have
remember,
60 million people show up, take a test, and they're all working wherever, and our guys are like down at the bottom of the rankings, it's kind of like, whoa.
and I remember
hold
when I
on
came
here.
in and tested for what's now called paraeducators, not what it was called back then. But there was a study, like a study,
A study guide?
study guide type
Okay.
thing.
I saw,
to
they're
take-
still there. It's still the same study
So-
guide, paraeducator.
Yes,
It's the
for
only study
paraeducator.
guide we've got.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
But
there's
that's
not,
a big help.
yeah, but that was available, you know, so it's just really a matter of people need to take some responsibility on
Ding, ding,
their
ding, ding,
own,
ding, ding, ding.
you know, and not have everything always handed to them. And a lot of people, you know, they,
You can't.
again, you
Mr.
can't.
Buzz, I got you, we don't need to.
Yeah,
Totally,
you can
totally
lead 'em to
understood,
water, you know?
totally understood the train of thought there.
Yep, so, you know, I don't wanna be unpolitically correct, but, you know, you gotta take some onus of your own, and if that's something you really wanna do, you gotta go outside the box sometimes.
Yeah, but I just noticed this and I wanted to comment on it.
Thank you.
Are you freezing?
Anything else from commissioners?
Across the street, starting to get a little cold out there.
Nope.
Set it off.
Yes, yeah.
Call for the vote?
Vote.
Oh, it's, all in favor to pass it.
Aye.
So passes. I think that brings us to the second reading of the 22-23 Personnel Committee Annual Report as corrected. I will entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Ms. Jewell.
This is the second reading of the annual Personnel Commission report. By Ed Code requires that it be presented to the Board of Trustees at their meeting in December.
Perfect.
So I'm asking that the commission approve this and I will present it. You will also get your copies in December as well.
Gotcha. Would you like us to attend the meeting as when you are presenting it?
You don't have to. I've never actually, you are welcome to.
I mean, to have the commissioners sitting back there as one big smiley group.
I would like to make a recommendation with that. I think Mr. G could be there.
Okay,
He's the board's rep.
Okay.
sure. I
Oh,
can
yeah,
do
all
that.
three of us can't smile in the same place. Yeah, we can, because the agenda's meeting.
If you would like to go, all three of you can go. I just generally don't actually, I will present it
Yes.
during, when I do my report, you know, when they get to me.
Yeah.
Present it
I
to
don't know,
them.
just to have our smiling faces sitting there, seeing that we're one,
If you wanna go,
unified
that
body.
would be fantastic.
something to think about and maybe
Do
throw.
you have a date?
Their December meeting,
December 12th.
thank you.
December 12th.
Okay.
I think I will show up.
Thank you.
Not really. And I think, and not only that, yeah, I think we should, show them who we are.
I agree, okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
So I will entertain a vote. I will take a vote.
Aye.
All right. Approve attendance and costs associated with the 4 attendees to the CSPCA conference. I will entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Ms. Jewell.
So the CSPCA conference is scheduled for March 3rd through the 5th in Monterey. It's a 3-day, 2-night stay. I've already registered everybody for the conference, the 4 of us. I've already made reservations at the hotels for the 4 of us. It's my understanding that Commissioner Brindle and myself are going to fly up out of Ontario. Commissioner G is going to book his own flights because I believe he's taking his wife. And then you're driving, correct? Okay, they usually have a really great packet of agenda of a lot of good information. I have, in your agenda packets, there's a section that has a paper clip. You may keep that, that's your information. That has your ticket,
Oh, this was it, yeah.
that has your ticket, your reservation at the hotel and so on. So, and I will say, one thing I want to add with this, Since I have two commissioners that will be up there either with a rental car or their own car, I would like to ask if Commissioner Prindle and myself can get picked up at the airport.
Of course.
No
Thank you.
problem.
Because I will say, when we went to Monterey 2
Where
years
did you
ago.
guys fly into?
Monterey.
Airport. What is it, like a postage
It-
stamp?
Yeah, and when we did get, everybody was flying into Monterey, and when we got there, we were like, there's no taxis. So we're Ubering, and didn't you and George Gutierrez, you Ubered in one car, took a taxi, and Beverly Stoops and myself Ubered in another car, but it took a while.
I guess no problem.
Pick you up. Yeah,
Although I
just
am
let us
planning
know.
on letting CSPCA know that I think they should maybe look at organizing transportation from the hotel to the airport and back, like once an hour or every 45 minutes or whatever it takes, but since two of you will be up there in vehicles, maybe we can get a ride.
No problem, no problem.
I have the.
What's Uber charge?
Not enough.
I don't remember, but I will say, if you notice on here,
Mr. G, 5%.
it's on here that, for mileage, I'm gonna be staying later, so I'm gonna be leaving at a different time than what you are. You and I are going to drive our cars separately. You're gonna drive from here, I'm gonna drive from Apple Valley, and I'm gonna be getting back in late. We'll get mileage. You're gonna get mileage because you're driving up, but what may happen is the mileage actually to and from Ontario, because I'm assuming you're gonna fly out of Ontario, is actually gonna be split probably between you two.
Okay.
Okay, so, any questions?
We're gonna discuss this way before, again, before March.
Okay, no, well, I
No.
mean, no?
Oh.
Wait, I was supposed to be paying attention?
Well, she said you're gonna leave it in the book, and I guess I gotta put it on a
That's what I'm
calendar and
saying, yeah,
everything.
this is your copy of
That's
stuff.
Okay.
That's why I did that for each of you, so that you've got those copies.
Okay.
Any other questions on this?
I don't think so. I get
Don't get me
pick-
wrong,
get
I
to pick
will-
restaurants? There's a thing, no, check with these guys, ask Christina about stuff.
I highly suggest you will.
Or check with Julie.
No, I highly suggest, he has a great palate.
Oh, you'll like it, haven't you ever?
I millions, gajillion times.
Okay, well then.
He knows where, in fact, I was gonna get a hold of him for our conference and say, where am I going?
Okay.
And actually,
So-
in your guys' hotel, the Grand Disney thing,
No one, yeah.
yeah, the Golden Rose, the California Rose, or whatever it's called, it used to be fantastic. I don't know if it still was. It's a great
Napa
place to
Rose.
eat. Napa Rose, that's it, that's it.
They provided us with food. They did every meal, breakfast, lunch, and the dinner was the CSJPA had, and it was beautiful down there, it wasn't raining, so we were outside in their atrium
Courtyard.
areas.
Beautiful,
It was great.
awesome. How long, think about,
Aye.
we're on the travel thing.
Aye.
All right, we need to go into closed session, so.
It won't be long.
Do we do it here? Do we go to your office? Do we throw
We
everybody
throw
out?
everybody out and do it right
Okay.
there.
Out, out, out.
So we'll have to.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
The time we're going into close is at 5:19.
Well, now I got my, going in that break room right there.